How goes it, people? I'm Ian, this is Hammer's Polls, and with our record signing seemingly out of sorts and out of form, I've been asking fans this week, does Sébastien Haller still have a future at West Ham? Let's take a look and see what everyone thinks. And if you like the show, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Does Haller still have a future at the club? For me, he has to. I think he's a good player on his day. He's actually had very limited chances at West Ham. If people look back over the course of his career at the club, he hasn't started that many games, considering what you think he would do, especially when he first signed for us, how many games he started. But we've got to learn to accommodate him, or at least build a team around him, because he's a great player. He's finishing, he's phenomenal. If people actually look back at his contributions, especially last season, some of his finishing would make Ibrahimovic jealous. He's just got something for me, and if we just said, nah, you ain't worth it because you don't run around a lot, it would be a massively wasted opportunity. But we're in a position where maybe we could sell him, get a bit of money and bring in someone who does suit our formation. But yeah, for me, he definitely has a future at the club, and it's down to the club to get the best out of him in a way. I think it's slightly unfair for us to ask him to be a target man. He's never really been that before. So yeah, give him another chance, and let's see what he can do against Fulham. I think it'd be very interesting to see. This would probably be his. He needs a bit of confidence as well, a bit of a confidence player. It seems he's probably had it knocked down since Antonio's been starting ahead of him. But yeah, and as you can see, I've got the worst tash ever. But if people want to do November, then go for it. It's worthwhile cause. So yeah, come on, you Irons.
Well, I am here to talk about Haller. Does he have a future at West Ham? Especially now Antonio has gotten injured and is already being rushed back into training. Worried. But anyway, I mean, obviously Haller was one of our marquee signings at the time under Pellegrini, and came to us with a good reputation for scoring goals. I mean, I think it was what 1 every 2 games on average was what he had at his previous clubs, and obviously he comes to us and we're hoping for the same, and hasn't happened at all. And I mean, yes, I think there is the argument that he has become a little bit of a petulant child recently. I mean, obviously he's very, very frustrated that he's not getting on the pitch and he's not getting his chance. And then when he is sort of put on the pitch, he's shoved on with like 2 minutes to go and just told to sort of get on with it. And then we're all wondering and complaining why he doesn't score a goal and why he doesn't look like he can be bothered. So there is that argument that he's not taking this very well. So, he's not dealing with being on the bench well, and he's definitely not like a Lanzini who has, bless him, just takes his time and sits on the bench, and when he sometimes comes on and scores a wonder goal once a season. So, but I think in the case of Haller, he is not being played properly. I mean, I've said this from the start. He came from a team where there was 2 people. He was being supported with 2 up front. He had a really good partnership with Jovic, I think his name was, and they were banging goals in and having fun and just having a laugh with the game. And then we bring him to West Ham, stick him up front, Andy Carroll style, hoof the ball to him every now and then wonder, why he's not actually doing what he needs to be doing. So I think for me that is the biggest problem. If we're not going to play the guy properly, we should just sell him, because he's a lot of money, he's sitting on the bench, he's getting more and more demotivated as the weeks go on. So if we're not going to play him in a system that suits the way that he plays, sell him. Same with Anderson, sell him. Get the money back, recoup it, and put them into some players that actually will do the job. Otherwise, it's a case of what's the point? It's a waste of time for everybody concerned. And it is a concern and something that does need to be looked at going forward, because at the end of the day, we've already proven that Antonio's getting a bit knackered. He can't play every game. He's not a striker. So this is something that needs to be looked into. If we're not going to play Haller and we're not going to play him properly, then we need to sell him and we need to get someone in who will. But for me, I don't think he's got a future at West Ham. I just don't see where it fits in, unfortunately. So
future at the Hammers. Personally, I don't think so. He don't look bothered to me. His confidence is shot. He don't look like he wants to play, does he? He's got no fight, no grit, no determination. That's what his body language is telling me, which is a real shame, really. You know, because I was thinking, oh, great, £45 million striker. But in typical West Ham fashion, he's become a flop. We always buy flops, don't we? It's a shame, really. It's a disappointment, personal disappointment for me, because I was hoping for great things. But yeah, he should be moved on in January. Whether it's a loan deal, so we can get another striker in that actually wants to play. Someone maybe from the Championship, you know, Division 1, who wants to Hungary, who wants to prove himself. That's what we need in our side, isn't it? Because we've gone for the big money and it's all flopped. Or we get someone like Payet who's too temperamental and then, you know, has to go home for whatever reason that was all about. It's a shame. But there you go. I would do that. I would get rid of him. Definitely get rid of him. Move him on and get someone who's hungry and wants to play with us. Someone who really wants to play with us. No big head. Someone who wants to knuckle down and show that they are a good striker. Antonio is brilliant, playing out of his skin. Someone to compliment him. So there's my answer. No, Spanish Archer, elbow, Talar, get rid of him. Right. All right, take it easy. Fulham this weekend. That's a banana skin, isn't it? In West Ham tradition. We'll see. We'll see. Whatever happens, wear your colours with pride. All right? Up the hammers. Come on, your eyes.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.